been. Going to be going with the big croc once again.
If it fixed, ain't broke it. NIP, what
I
are
don't
we
like
going to do
that.
about this now?
Nope. Nope. Go
Well,
back.
Take it up with Rivington. Take it up with him from years ago. Shanji likely to go towards something like that Cassante matchup towards the top side. Again, he could opt into the Gnar himself, but he's not necessarily the person to favor that over the Cassante. He had some good team fights in the last game, and the Leona with the Ashe off the table becomes a lot more valuable, because if either the Ashe or the Braum are off the table, you don't get Ashe Braum, and Leona is much happier when she doesn't have to play against the two of them together, because Leona is probably best support in the game when at least that combo is off the table and stops her from being Leona. So that was the easy lock-in. Maybe looking towards something like an Ezreal or that Corki now.
I want to see ease of execution for NIP. I want to see them put themselves in a best-case scenario to go toe-to-toe with BLG, who have been one of the most ruthless teams in the LPL since their reign of dominance started in spring. It is going to be the Ezreal-Leona combo for NIP. They do have that singular focus engaged right now from Zhuo, and they need to kind of follow that up with some synergistic picks.
Yeah, so BLG, they could do a bunch of different things now. They could lock in choice AP jungler. If they wanted, they can lock in their choice of mid laners as well for Knights. Of course, they locked in the Corki and they won that pretty heavily versus Rookie Zione on the other side. That wouldn't be a bad pick lock-in for them. But of course, you have to consider what's going on in this bot lane as well. NIP already locked in their bot lane combination. They've locked in their mid lane now in that Yone, but are they willing to let through all of the AD carry and supports through? They could get double banned one of those roles in the second ban phase from NIP.
Knight's like, man, I saw what Rookie was trying to do last game. I want to do that myself. Let's get some setup here. And honestly, would be very, very difficult to handle with this trio locked in now. Sejuani gonna be the go-between between two extremely aggressive solo laners for BLG in the Renekton and the Yone. It's the Cassante on the other side for Shanji.
Right, so now BLG don't have any magic damage besides, okay, I know Yone does a technically small amount of it with his passive and then his
You're going to
Q
get
and
added
stuff.
on Twitter and canceled, just say it.
Yeah, like occasionally I've said that, look, it's not going to be killing tanks with the magic damage is the problem. So NIP, they can ban away the Kai'Sa now, and Elk doesn't really have AP options in that bot lane. Well, I say that. So T1KT, also welcome over if you're coming over from that series. They had I think KT had a Seraphine-Leona combo in the bot side of the map in one of the games that series. The Kai'Sa has been let through though. I'm surprised that NIP have allowed that one to go over, because it would give magic damage over to BLG in a very accessible way. They do have the double tanks to NIP of the Leona and that Cassante, so if they can go into a full physical competition, it makes it much easier for them to itemize and just become hyperlinks.
We are seeing all that supportal focus from NIP, but it's the mid lane right now, the focus for BLG, as they take away that Tristana and the LeBlanc. So taking away maybe some of that mobility from Rookie. Still big questions on what his answer is going to be into the Yone.
And there is the outside chance of the Ezreal being flexed into that mid lane. There is the outside chance. We haven't seen it in the LPL, but it's worth mentioning that. Would this really be a last pick for Aki in the mid lane? Again, technically the flex pick between the mid and bot roles for the Ezreal. Zarya going to get locked in for Aki, so that's going to be fine in terms of playing from range and playing for disengage. Kai'Sa, very easy lock-in for BLG. I'm surprised that wasn't locked away. That is the last remaining kind of like pseudo magic damage source from that bot side, alongside the Alistar as well. Elk and On have a very good lane to impact mid and late game.
Honestly, the follow-through for BLG is monstrous. Like, they will be able to find you, hunt you down, lock you down, and then also kill you on top of it all. So definitely is going to be... Nice. Yeah, it doesn't sound very nice at all. NIP ends up going with the Rookie Corki here to finish off their draft, and they're going to have all that poke and a decent team fight setup for themselves, but they've got to find a way to maybe stop this forward onslaught by Bilibili.
Yeah, Bilibili Gaming, they have themselves a lot of dive, a lot of engage. On the other side though, NIP, Cassante and Leona tank his champions in slot right now, so they can hold the door shut for a little while and try and play through plant disengage, try and play through range on their double Triforce marksman as well. So NIP, they want to play range, they want to play for disengage. They do have some forward aggressive options too with the Solar Flare. If they can use that to buy an Alistar ultimate in the important moments, that could be very, very powerful to allow them extended periods of play. BLG, looking for them to get themselves a lane lead with that Renekton and use that to make sure that they can get themselves side lane pressure into then those big multi-angle team fights. If BLG get to play out aggressively, I think NIP are going to really struggle because BLG are very good at playing aggressive.
And an undercurrent throughout this whole series has been how just at each other's throats Knight and Rookie have been in this mid lane. I think this one's going to have a lot to say, especially with the Yone Corki going the other way. And it's two legendary mid laners, obviously known a lot for different things, but it is also a situation where NIP have nothing left to lose, and they need to find a potential funniest upset ever in the LPL in this game number 3. The fact that we've even got here is a miracle for NIP as they took their second game win of Rumble Stage, and it is a serious moment of triumph if they can find an early advantage or hold on against this BLG team who is looking to go full frontal. It is game number 3 as we get into BLG versus NIP. I see the OO sign. I like it.
Someone's upgraded the Uru blaster from Swarm. Yeah, it fires twice as fast. I'll have you know. It's a lot
I don't think that's what it's called, is it?
Yeah, the Uru blaster upgrades. It's the OO.
Oh,
blaster.
does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if that actually did.
Someone's not been playing enough Swarm.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Mazel.
sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, I know left that. Look, I spent thousands of hours on Binding of Isaac. Swarm can't hurt me anymore. Look, Aatrox is bad, but it's no hush fight. Going into this early game now, very important series for NIP to at least give them something to hold on to. They took one game off of BLG, and that was notable in itself. But if they take the series, then it becomes more than just notable. It becomes something to build off of. Having one good game in a blue moon against a team that in BLG, which has struggled to have consistency, it loses some of that value. Kind of gets a little bit tarnished around the edges there. So NIP, they'll be looking to close this one off. They do have the Corki into the Yone matchup, which Knight was winning on the Corki side of this just in that last game. Rookie going to zone him off the lane right now. And one of the big things on the Yone is you want to hit that Raptor camp over the wall with your Q if you can. They walled that out, and it means that Yone can't get that Q at level 1 to get easy stacks towards Q3 and get yourself some poke at level 1. So that's going to help out Rookie in the lane first.
See if they can maybe manage that pressure a little bit there as well with some entrance from Wei on the Sejuani. So going with a pick that we haven't gotten to see this series just yet, but something that's very strong with the combinations that they have and can be very active. We do see both junglers heading down bot as bot kicks off in the 2v2. Elk trying to get some damage down with those plasma stacks.
Also, what Photic's doing there. I love what Photic and Zhuo are doing here. You can almost use this as a poke duo. Zhuo going in, forces the flash.
Instant flash there. Now Elk, he's in a lot of trouble. Gonna get the thumbs up again from Photic in this 2v2 going the way of NIP.
So what ended up there, I think Zhuo with the ward killed at level 1, ends up getting slightly early at level 2, and I don't think On respects that. But while all this is happening, the Ezreal Leona, the power of this lane is that it's very easy to follow up to pop the Sunlight passive from Leona as Ezreal, whether it's with Qs from long range or auto attacks in close range, and that damage stacks up if you keep hitting consistent Zenith Blades and Qs. So Photic and Zhuo getting themselves great value out of this bot lane. Would not have expected Alcon On to be dealt with in this 2v2 as handily over this series. You know, On has now been forced into pretty bad positions in all of our bot lanes so far. Even the Ornn game, which he got the MVP on. The early laning phase, yes, it was going to have Nash Braum, but he was caught out at times there. So credit to Photic and Zhuo for having a better 2v2 than I thought they would be today.
Really nice to see, but it's all about consistency and keeping up. If Photic falls behind or isn't able to find consistent skill shots, as maybe we saw in that last game, it's something to think about. But now they're diving as Wei is over here. And we talked about BLG having the dive comp. Looks like both teams whipping out their submarines to go to a 3v3 here in bot lane. The dive not going to be initiated by NIP in the end because of that presence.
And also there is an Ignite on. It's quite hard to dive if you think they can force level 3 by hitting a minion or 2 first as you look to angle towards that. Wei was spotted on bot side. They should know that he's somewhere in there. Knockup hitting onto Rookie's not exactly what he wants though. Not be able to take a hard trade here now.
Wei can get a big trade onto Aki though. Rookie getting very low, but now it's Aki in a lot of trouble as Sejuani does a ridiculous amount of damage early. He was actually going for Rookie there as the flail comes through the turret shot. Maybe Wei just falls here. Look at the plants. It's not going to be in range though. Aki, he can't get the grasping roots either. So close, but both teams come out alive.
Oh, I thought Wei might be able to get a second E permafrost passive prop, but it doesn't quite work. This is what we saw from that laning phase from Zhuo earlier. The reason he hit level 2 is because he cleared that ward and that gave him the level 2, and I'd imagine that's why they're highlighting that one. It's one of the reasons why the bot lane is going as well as it is for NIP, and why On had to blow that flash a little earlier. So As we go through to this mid-jungle 2v2 though, Knight, despite being interrupted at level 1, wasn't able to hit that Q over the wall into the Raptors to stack up that Q. You don't aim to take the Raptors, of course, but you look to stack up that the Mortal Steel on it. Is still doing fine in this mid lane matchup. Rookie was suffering on the One side of this against BLG in that last game. So Knight, considering how poor his lane went in the first game of the Tristana versus the Lucian, doing a lot better in the subsequent 2 games.
Nice to see him step up, obviously. Been a big series of years, it feels like, for Knight. Moving a lot of teams, but finding success with every single one of them, it seems. And, you know, Rookie maybe lacking a little bit of that domestic success here recently. Still is the guy to step up for NIP in a lot of regards. Him and Photic been monumental for them in any of their hopes in the last 6 months or so. But BLG, a tough opponent to deal with in a lot of ways. We are looking at collapse around the Dragon on the bot side, while Grubs are starting to spawn in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, draw into that bot side. Rookie pushing in that mid lane definitely helps. Way coming down towards bot side will help. He is behind the XP to Arcane. He doesn't have that flash still, but he might not need it.
Zhuo just getting put behind the enemy lines, but odd, he took so much damage and he just dies to the ignite of Zhuo. Here comes Rookie around the corner, and BLG, they are pushed off of the play, and it's NIP, they get first blood.
Draw gets out, as importantly too, so it's not even any turn back kill from BLG. Way a little bit low HP, but with jungle sustain should be fine with that one. Ult put out in that top side, at least by Bin, trying to take a good trade into the isolated 1v1.
Get the all out there under the turret, just a little far from the wall to get him through there. Gonna be a nice little trade from both top laners. Obviously, Ben still having TP to go back up to the top side if he wants to reset.
Knight losing priority at quite an important moment there as NIP managed to use their mid lane to get in towards that bot jungle. Knight does have that teleport if he wants to go back.
This is bold way.
He gets the first one for free, and he does use the smite for it. I think he just sees Shanji walk up and he notices he doesn't have that ult. It would have been dangerous if Rookie was also there at the same time, and he would have been able to potentially Q out over the wall. Now Knight is back and he has himself those tier 2 boots. He's much safer to do this. So a little bit risky, but hey, it comes with a reward.
Risk it for the biscuit, as they say. As On, maybe risking a little bit too much, but they are going to get the Grubs. All 3 of them just started off for BLG, a team that has been known to have extreme objective dominance in their games. Going to start that one off here by trading those objectives here. First Dragon did go over to NIP in the end.
It's dangerous giving over those Grubs to Renekton, who does quite handily win against the K'Sante in the 1v1 early on, and then also potentially towards that Yone as well. You can use that Soul Unbound to get towards turrets. We talked about that previously. It does make it very easy to kind of walk up. You can tank a couple of shots and you can kind of ping back away from that turret. So we'll see whether Knight can get into a side lane in about 4 or 5 minutes. Tends to happen around that 12-minute mark after you've gotten 2 sets of Grubs through and you're outside of your traditional lanes at that point. While that's happening, of course, we need to see what's happening with our lanes before that. Right now, top lane going quite well for Bin. You expect that. Shanji has been, he picked up that Renekton in the game 1. It was a bit of a stopgap because Ben, I think, has just been a better laner, bluntly, than Shanji for most of the series, which isn't unexpected. Ben, I think, has been the stability point for BLG, regardless of how well they've been performing. Ben is still Ben at the end of the day, and Shanji has struggled a fair amount in summer. Now, he's been against the Renekton. Ben has been exacerbating these gold leads quite heavily in both the last game and this one.
They gotta find a way to play around that as best as possible. They are gonna move into NIP's jungle here with the combos, and there you go. Level 6 has been hit, and the Wombo Mambo has been initiated by BLG. At Zhuo getting hit by the perma, and now he just goes down. It's Rookie trying to fight himself out of this one, trying to take kills. Photic has come over. This is the combo we need to come up at night. He's looking up, play them all. He finds one. He's trying to get Photic, but he can't do it. Oh no, Photic, he falls bait to not being able to hit the skill shot, and Knight gets away with 2 kills.
That fight is a lot closer than it should have been because of a great through shot barrage going from Photic, but he can't quite clean up that last kill. Under tower from Shanji, but it doesn't get Bryn tower aggro, so he'll be fine here. BLG walk away with a more even skirmish than they would have thought through that bot side, but it's still a lot of kills onto the Yone, and that is going to be an issue. Knight now 2-0-1, pain point for them.
The fact that they just pull the trigger as soon as Wei goes aggressive, Love to see that direction from BLG. Now they have to find a way to play around this 2-0 lead for Knight, which I would feel like is a lot easier to do than maybe sounds like it. It is a move by NIP on the bot side to try to take this red away from Wei as he comes over, though.
Yeah, it might be a bit risky to stay for this one. The plan is giving them and the blue trinket there, or rather, I think it's a zombie ward in fact. Of course, will be. No blue trinkets available. I should have looked at the score. Sometimes I should look at scoreboards. I hear that's really useful. Anyway, going back towards this replay, level 6 on Sejuani allows you to force plays very well. Ward in the brush. Does the perpendicular little Q ult combo. Great combo coming through. But then they kind of overchase onto draw. Things change out a lot when the Frost Bomb hits onto multiple people, and then the True Shot Barrage hits onto multiple people. Even the Valkyrie's helping in terms of damage there. So Rookie and Photic comping up for a lot of damage. Knight does, of course, manage to get one out here, and then managed to gets himself out with his life too. Photic just about missing that last skill shot, allowing Knight to escape. That is so close. That is
so close, man. Oh my gosh. Now we're taking a look back at it. And Knight's going to have a lot more sustainability back on the map. That's the Vamp sector, but also the boots completed there. We'll see what they can utilize that for here as there is another dragon spawning in about 50 seconds. There is the other spawn of grubs as well that BLG are definitely going to be looking at. Now, Elk is the focus right now for Photic. Essence Flux plus the True Shot Barrage not going to hit.
That was a little bit close. Now, Elk isn't going to be able to reset in time for this dragon. He has himself a refill pot ticking over, but he's not going to be able to defend this turret either. There are also grubs spawning on the top side. I think
oh my God.
That on, he's just going to die.
I mean, both supports are so low level right now. Not even level 6 yet, so he doesn't have any defensive tools. And then a P strike.
And I'm like, okay, so Alex been chunked out, so he's not going to help you there. On doesn't have his ultimate. Now, Wei is clearly sticking towards topside trying to get 6 grubs. Why the heck are you standing under that turret with an Alistair with no ult? So on, questionable decision there. In 11 minutes, he is 0-3. That's a lot of deaths for one lonely Alistair, who has contributed, 3 out of the 4 kills over to NIP so far. On had that MVP from that last game, but his other 2 games have not necessarily filled me with a huge amount of confidence for his current level of play. BLG gonna walk away with 5 grubs. NIP gonna walk away with 2 dragons. It's a very different split of objectives. Even though we've been fighting across the map, it has led to still those split of top side and bot side advantages. BLG would look to get plates off of these.
It's Grubagated, oh my God. It is a potential denial of this dragon, but it is just going to go down to Aki as they do. Ooh, a little spicy. Is going to end up burning his flash, just make sure he can make it over the death wall as BLG were on their way.
Yeah, typically, when you're on blue side, it's the problem when you take dragon like that. But of course, if you're getting pincered from bot lane and mid lane, yeah.
That wall is deadly, man.
It is. That wall has, yeah, that is why we see a lot of Ezreal and Kaiser and people that can cross walls. Knight taking good turret trade under the turret. Now with the 6 grubs, you'll see that a lot more.
Wait,
he's tanky, but is he tanky
by
enough?
himself. You got to be trouble though, as they are going to look to turn it if Rookie goes any further forward. Convergence does end up getting popped there. Wait, showing he is pretty tanky in the end.
Yeah, tanky enough. Pops the aftershock by throwing that ultimate. I was going to say as well, this was a point where BLG would have liked to use that ult very aggressively because the Z's Convergence is really high base damage for a tank first item. It's not, it's not the Warmogs in terms of your supports, in terms of like big tankiness, but when you have that kind of storm around you when you pop your ultimate, it no longer needs a teammate or any kind of the tether mechanics that items had in previous iterations. It has a hell of a lot of damage. So the fact that they don't quite get to use that at one item before Aki had quite managed to get towards his, I think he only just got the Leandries on this back. That would have been a nice point of power for them to reach. Can't quite play through that one. And now we are once again asking BLG to see if they can get themselves in towards these side lane turrets with Wei on bot side again. Should be able to get that 6 grub Yone onto the turret.
Be proactive. Be proactive. That's what BLG need to do right now as they are getting on to those first items.
I don't think that's how the song goes, Mazel. I think you're lying to me.
No, that's exactly how it goes. I don't know. You're being
you're
being gaslit by whoever told you it didn't go that way. Anyways,
yeah.
we have this we have this first item spike for, more importantly, the Blade of the Rune King for Knight. I expect them to try to utilize this out on the map.
Yeah, that's why you're seeing like a million people roaming towards this lane, because there's one side, yeah, we want to use this, and the other side is, wow, we don't want him to use that, especially with the grubs on top of it too. The threat is, if someone gets a solo kill in a side lane and gets to hit a turret afterwards, that is about worst case scenario. Also, you need to be afraid of, particularly top lane is teleporting into the play now as well. The first item on Cassandra Renekton. Very, very powerful. That Black Cleaver on Bin is going to make Yone hit even harder. This is going to shred armor beyond that point. So Herald is now spawning. The plates are now going to fall off. There were some plates, of course, taken up by BLG, but they are still behind in gold because NIP have had some good skirmishes. And, of course, the jungle matchup is going to continue to get more and more further ahead in terms of that farming potential.
Now, Nymeara, we have finally hit level 6s for the supports, so we have some go buttons there for NIP. They finally get there. The other thing to think about is the power that Photic is going to have. Pretty hefty CS differential against Elk, and NIP a little slow to the plate, lose the Rift Herald, but now you have the collapse potentially being played through by BLG. It's not going to come to anything.
Okay, so Rookie, was he spotted over here? Going to take some damage out of the way. That'll be... You know, I got a little bit jump step because I kind of forgot that Corki doesn't have package anymore for a second. I was like, oh, he's so fast. He must have... Hang on a second. That's just a TP move. Look, it's been a long time since we saw Corki without that package. Knight can't hit that top lane turret for free right now. Way is delaying the members from NIP heading towards topside, but you could basically see that NIP don't really want to allow Yone to hit turrets where they can. That's going to take a bit of damage out of Zhuo, and that's going to be it. Worth noting that level 6, Alistar is much tankier than the Leona, because the ult is much better than the not full level Eclipse. Not
there you go.
Enough, though. That's half his HP gone.
Okay, they're going to commit even more. Why not? Just throw everything you can at the cow. And we've already known that Nymeara is scared of them, so good job. Good job, NIP.
Cows are dangerous.
Bro, you live in Texas, you cannot be scared of cows. Anyways, Shanji does TP, gets immediately CC'd by BLG.
And you can see again, NIP just really hammering down on Knight's lane. They do not want to allow this Yone to be free firing down there. The problem is, Bin now has teleport. He's alone in this bot side. He also has 6 scrubs. He's also 1,000 gold ahead too. Now, if he gets some time on that bot side turret, he can also teleport towards topside. There's a blue ping on the Tribrush control ward as well. They can take bot turret and then look for this again. They're going to take this turret. They're going to teleport Renekton into topside. That's exactly what they're doing.
Look at the series of events unfold in front of you, Dr. Strange, as you do have Bin flashing away there, trying to get Aki. Run your little legs away! Can he make it? He's just a plant in a plant's world, and now Elk has to turn around. There's a nice little thumbs up from Aki.
Try to punish the flashless Zyra, but the Shield of Daybreak comes in from Zhuo and puts that stun down, so Bin can't get in range. So sad for him. It was a good play, a good set play from BLG. You can see they planned it in advance. They take that bot turret and they teleport towards the top side. They are still going to get themselves the 2 outer turrets before NIP can take one of the others. It's still great gold over the solo lane. It's almost 2,000 gold in the advantage for Bin, and then 1,000, of course, for the Yone Knight as well. So NIP still not able to stop these side lanes from exploding. That's a problem. They will be very dangerous in team fights. Now, they might be able to take themselves a dragon because of the map movements of BLG. They've had to reset a bit late because they stayed for those turrets. If NIP can get themselves to Soul Point, then maybe we can revisit things again. Like, remember, they want to be absorbing the engage and trying to play around disengage and range. BLG want to be diving, trying to blow out these team fights with their solo lanes.
They're going to be diving right now, potentially, as they look for NIP before the dragon, but Wei, he's in a little bit of trouble now. Yeah, they're just going to pull the trigger there on getting the arcane shift out of Photic. Photic with the true shot barrage across. Photic is massive here. He might have some damage up on Odd. He's dodging. Man, that cow's got feet, or maybe some hooves, as now on the other side, Bin has been spotted out, will be forced away from the play. The Rift Herald used in the mid lane, but the dragon is the focus for NIP.
Yeah, they managed to absorb the engage to NIP, so that's a lot of the threat down from BLG, but Knight
nice Valkyrie, but it doesn't matter. The Fate sealed in, and that's exactly what has happened to Rookie as they collapse on the mid-outer. Photic does not have enough strength as the Ezreal, and another one falls. The outer tower is going down, and was the dragon worth it at this point?
No, it was not. NIP, they survived the Alistar combo earlier. Photic outplays. Aki pulled off the dragon because he didn't think he had enough time, and now he's done it late.
No, at this point, you got to commit. At this point, just commit to, oh no! Go to the blast code. It's not even going to go to NIP as BLG get everything on the map.
Oh, BLG just toyed with NIP. Yes, the initial Alistar combo doesn't work out in the mid lane, but everything else does. Now, suddenly, you have Knight 3-0-2. Now, he's almost at the same gold lead that Bin has over Shanji. And this composition that NIP do not want getting that powerful, so they can keep diving onto them, just on a lot more gold. Wei goes forward, catches Rookie from out of fog of war. And sadly, the all-star mid laner from NIP goes down. He is crash-landed. This team cannot really pick up the damage outside of that point. The fight just keeps going forwards. The mid lane turret goes down. BLG, huge advantage to them.
And now they're going to be able to lean on the strength of the Renekton as well, potentially. But it really is the strength of Knight as a whole for this BLG roster. And it's been a history of success for Knight as a whole. It seems every team he goes to is touched by that golden left hand of his, might even have a bit of the Midas touch there, and it really has been a huge step up of Knight in the last couple years.
Yeah, and Knight in this, the thing is, now's not always the best time to be talking about Knight in that sense, because Knight's summer hasn't been awesome. Now, he's had some better series, but his group stage was not Knight standard. But you think about how Knight did MSI last year, through summer last year as well, and spring as well. This guy has been absolute rocket fuel. There were definitely some games where they can only win because they have Knight on the roster. Photic, he's watching way too far. He is going to die here.
Yeah, maybe. Way's even going to add insult to injury by flashing in front of him to body block with that Arctic Assault. It's going to be a cleaned up kill by Elk and BLG as they continue to press forward.
Yeah, I mean, you can't push up like that. No teammates on your side. You're beyond your own little mid lane wall. Ezreal is as safe as his E can take him. If someone can chase you beyond that E, you're done goofed. You should be in a position where an E can't save you. In that kind of situation. At least that's your safe boundaries. He had the flash as well, but didn't even get the chance to use it, and suddenly NIP, they lose all control over mid lane, they're being pushed into top lane. That's going to be ults onto Knight, but he just ults away himself, so that's a solo flight down from Zhuo. He's still only level 6!
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Levels up on him.
I don't even... I thought it was bad when he was 5 levels. I don't understand how Zhuo is not level 7 yet. Like, this is actually insanity. It's more than double. And we see the initial setup here. But it really is, I feel like NIP succumbing to their symptoms because it is Zhuo who has the engage pretty much solely for NIP. So he's struggling to find the end.
It's hard on multiple levels because I think that bot lane early went well for Photic and Zhuo, but they couldn't snowball it well enough, and maybe a team that was more proficient at playing through that CV2 could have done so. Rookie's not had the best time in this lane. Shanji's obviously not had the best time in this lane, but this is the problem where Shanji will often pick these kind of matchups and just fall behind and try and impact teamfights, but then the teamfights come late for him to impact them anyway, and this is a continuation of issues for NIP. The first game was a breath of fresh air, and I'm glad we saw that game from them. But NIP are a very narrow win condition team, and this is what got me worried about them even back in the group stage, before the Rumble stage. We're looking at a team now which was top 4 in spring when the meta really, really suited them, but we've seen just how much the meta changes have affected them with the AD mids and the changes to jungle, everything else. They'll probably have to respond to a Baron startup now. NIP, they are not particularly in position to do this. They might just look to get the TP out of Rookie and then peel off.
I will say there's the double evolution items that have come online, second item spikes for NIP, so they have some strength, but BLG don't even want to let them have any say to this fight, as Ben has come around. He isn't going to pop the Dominus, going to be popped on. Nice double knockup from On as he's popped the Unbreakable, and BLG, they're looking to do just that. They do get rebuffed a bit. Shanji has made a big difference. Rookie's poke is big. Ben's going to flash away. Oh, big rocket barrage from Rookie, and NIP, they're fighting back.
Not a good engage from BLG. They don't get themselves onto the key targets, and then once they use their aggressive tools, NIP get to play through. They're disengaged. They play through their range. They get themselves in mid lane out of turret, and just as we're, bemoaning the state of NIP and what's happening, NIP get themselves a fight which their composition really, really thrives in. It's not a fight where Knight gets onto the backline. It's not a fight where Ben gets onto the backline either. They try and go down the front and center, don't quite get it, and suddenly NIP find themselves with a bit more breathing room than they had before, and now with Dragon spawning in 20 seconds, they might even be able to get themselves towards a soul point of the Hextech variety, one of the strongest souls that you can get in the current metagame. So BLG, bit of a swing and a miss from that, and they also committed Bin's teleport, flash, and ult to that. Not a great investment.
That's the thing with the dive comp is you can only dive. And when you miss that big dive, you go straight into the rocks into the bottom of the sea.
There is a hidden fourth D, which is dive. So you can die as well. So this is after they throw out the ultimate. Bin comes in for the teleport. Yeah. Well, there's no reaper in this game. I didn't realize that. As Ben gets kind of brought over the wall by Q3 from Shanji, which arguably saves his life even more here. But yeah, if you're flashing backwards as BLG, something's gone horribly wrong. Dragon is going to go down to NIP in the picture. Can we see an engage from BLG? Knight's not at the fight, so not quite yet.
Plan's going to be big. You got to look. Stranglethorn is not available yet. Wei gets in there, steals it away, and now BLG, they're surrounding them. Wei is the focus right now. NIP just trying to fight their way out of this one, but everything's coming up, BLG. They're stuck like fish in a barrel, and it's BLG who have a 12-gauge shotgun lined up and ready to go. Photic fighting back at least a little bit, but it's been a triple kill going the way of Ben. He's all by himself, and everything's dark and scary as BLG come up big.
Yeah, the fog of war toggle shows exactly how terrifying it is to be Photic there. Someone's going to pop over the wall. It just so happens to be Knight. BLG, they can't find the fight the last time, but NIP, they stand their ground too much. They're stuck in the Dragon Pit. You can see that BLG, they get onto their targets. No, there's no smite for them right now, but they don't need it. Wade's going to come up in a few seconds. He can waltz his way over. It is just Zhuo, the lowly level 8 Zhuo, watching this Baron go down.
What has become of Zhuo's life? Only level 8, has no entrances. Aki trying to get over here. Finally, Wei shows up, does secure the big purple worm for BLG as they continue to balloon their lead just a little bit over 4,000. And now we go back to that play around the dragon.
Yeah, so NIP can't keep BLG out of the river. Wei, great steal from him. I think Shanji was even waiting there to see if he could use the ult onto him to get him out of the play. Can't quite manage it. Then Wei casts his ultimate here, gets the Z's convergence running, which is just a nice bit of gold. And while all this is happening, where's the damage from NIP going? It's not going into the backline, it's going into the tanks. I mean, yeah, Wei dies, but sure, what do you do now about the Yone? What do you do about the Kaiser? What do you do about everyone? Photic tries his best to clean up, but there just isn't enough disengage at this point. He has one person left, and BLG have more than enough damage to do.
Yeah, I mean, Knight will take him down like sliced ham every time with those double swords. It really is a situation where NIP are showing some life. This is maybe some of the most life we've seen from the All Rumble stage, but BLG are just a different beast.
I could definitely go for like a kebab Yone skin, but like EpicSkillshot just carves off a slice of like
Fruit Ninja. We need the Fruit Ninja.
Oh my god, that'd be fantastic. Imagine the partnership there. That's $1 million idea right there. BLG,
you're welcome.
They don't exactly have a $1 million gold lead, but they do have themselves a lot of items all the same. They're still a pretty big gold lead, and they have the Baron buff. But I don't think NIP are going to be easily wave clearing through this one. Bin going forwards on missed ult away.
That's the thing, though. Remember, we said if you miss that engage, it looks a little bit worse for BLG. They are leaning on the strength of Knight in mid lane. He did just burn his ultimate. See if that's going to be answered to whatsoever. But NIP showing a little bit of siege defense here.
Yeah, you still have the 6 grips. Okay, it was Solar Flare, which is completely fine. So that's going to be the fate sealed down from Knight for just a little bit. I think that makes some sense. I actually don't mind Zhuo blowing that ult for Knight's ult because, yes, this is a 4-0-4. Yone, who is very, very strong at 2.5 items. Going towards that QSS, might be going towards the Jack Show after that point.
Oh, man.
Okay, this is one of my favorite terms in League. You've heard of the one shot, now get ready for the one shot. He basically gets the Knight in one go. Yeah, there was a cloth armor, but it's about close enough to it. Knight is very, very tanky now, and it means that he can stick around for those engages much more. He has himself that ult coming up on a lower cooldown than Zhuo, because he has the 3rd rank of his ultimate, whereas Zhuo has the 1st rank of his ultimate. It's not exactly an even trade in cooldowns.
Oh, they actually are trying to find flaps onto him. He is end up getting in the aggression of NIP to maybe overextend them a little bit. Nice knock up there. Whoa, getting very, very low. The Baron buff still is up, and Elk is going to be getting the resets here on that one. Going to be hunting for more, but the siege is going to continue on to this tier 2 down here by BLG. They still have about 10 seconds, but the siege will end up stopping because of that.
Yeah, so it's still going to be a decent power play from BLG. It's going to allow them to take control of this bottom half of the map for the next dragon spawn. Of course, with the last dragon being stolen, NIP don't even have a soul to fight for. If they'd taken that, if they managed to get the one before that too, where Aki kind of like and and whether he should stick around to take the dragon and ended up being stolen away from BLG too, they could have been on soul at this point, but it is not to be. They have to watch their own tower go down instead. So the 6 grubs so quick to go down.
Nice true shot barrage off from Photic. That tier 2 going down, but this is where NIP can strike. They do get a nice little use of Wei in being able to follow this one up. I think could be the answer for NIP as they're pushing tempo, but it is also the fact that Bin is going to be willing to join down here. Here comes the engage already. Glacial Prison is not available. You don't have any of that disengage from BLG anymore, and NIP collapsed. They're using their 5-man strong to push this wave into a tier 2 bot.
Yeah, that was all off of the True Shot barrage onto Elk. He's too low HP, he has to run back the entire length of the map. Knight didn't have QSS, and now suddenly NIP, they get to clap back and take themselves an inner turret of their own. Sadly, no objective bounties for them. It's not quite out of proportion like that just yet, but now they can even fall back for the Dragon afterwards. This is a great extended play from NIP, and all of this, literally all of this, comes off of that good chunk onto Elk under that bot lane inner turret. They run them down the entire length of the map and get themselves 2 important objectives on that to at least get something from the extended play.
They get a soul point. They have decision-making power there now. they can fight around that next spawn about 5 minutes up.
Yay!
That'll be nice.
Agency!
Let's go! It is also those 3 item spikes coming across for Rookie and Photic. Obviously, Knight had already hit that one, but the big focus now is that poke is going to be starting to do some lasting damage for NIP.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely damage there from NIP. I will say I'm still probably favoring BLG in the current map state because all it takes is one good fight from Knight or Alk and effectively the game's over. Also, Bin, if he gets into melee range of Rookie or Photic, is going to do unspeakable damage. So any of those things happening is going to be a big, big problem for NIP. However, it is not over yet. This gold lead is not out of proportion. There is a Dragon Soul coming up for NIP in 4 minutes if they can set up for that well enough. Baron before that will probably be something which BLG would look to force over NIP. And yeah, I think BLG, they haven't necessarily been the best at pulling the trigger in this game, which is kind of unfortunate given that they are the dive team. See if they can find someone split apart from the team, if they can get Kaiser into the play, Knight into a big play. A lot of this is going to be on Wei and how well timed he is with the follow-up to the rest of his team.
And that has been the big conversation we want to see coming into this series is what Wei exactly is going to bring to the table continuously for BLG. They do just lose. They release Prison onto Photic in the end. It is the cleanse burn. BLG continuously looking.
Okay, so now you don't have the Sejuani ultimate, but it will be up quicker than the cleanse of Photic. Photic E'd out of an Kaiser W. Then, of course, can dodge out of the Sejuani ultimate. So that's cleansed down. Need to see now if someone can force Photic to do a little bit of hop, skip, and a dodge again a little bit later on when they have those cooldowns back. Baron has now spawned. NIP are nowhere close to it. They do have a blue trinket on board. They will see this going down. What is their plan?
Shot Barrage going to ring across Elk. Here comes NIP's defense. You got BLG completely surrounding them. They got to commit. That is going to be the Baron over to BLG now. Big knockups in store. There's On getting it. Elk goes over on the side. Knight tries to get the long distance face seal, but can't hit it. NIP, now they got to deal with the big croc, though. Ben is looking unstoppable here as Shanji is going to try to solo out Knight. Ben carves down into the backline, but Photic! 6,000 damage done from this Ezreal, and NIP are not done just yet.
Knight can't get onto the backline. Photic, yeah, he has no cleanse, but he has a flash, and that's enough. And NIP, they take themselves the advantage in this game 3. We said the goal wasn't out of proportion. There's no damage left from BLG, whereas Photic is alive. They can push for more. At least this tower can come up. But already, NIP, such a better trade for them than they thought. The Baron buff is down, and BLG will have 2 of them left, but they can't use that to control the map before this dragon will come up in 2 minutes. NIP keep themselves alive, and they might have just put themselves into position to fight for this Dragon Soul, which they wouldn't have had available before. Looking back at this replay, really important to just talk about how the backline axis is looking. Because, of course, for Elk taking down from this Baron, he's not got that much HP comparative to everything else. Aki's not in a great spot, but at least he keeps way out of the picture. So it's just On alone here. Elk makes his way there later, and this is a big mistake. Knight has the flash, maybe should have flashed in for a longer range Q3, a long range ultra, because he doesn't even reach Aki. It's not a great fight from Knight with all of the gold involved in him. It would only take him having 1 or 2 targets being hit by most of his combo, and it could have won the fight for BLG, but it just doesn't happen.
And it just felt like BLG were really trying to force their hand there, feeling like they had the advantage that they could, but they could not. And now, 4 items for Rookie, who had been put down for a lot of this game, but is finding such big resurgence. And of course he is, because he is a staple of NIP, damn it. And now we are looking at the setup for this maybe ultimate dragon fight for NIP.
See that Ben pushing out topside, has teleport, but he'll need to be there towards the start of the combo and try and get himself on one of those flangles, the flank angles. Can he get himself in there? No flash this time. It's much harder to lock down Photic or Rookie. Photic still no flash for now. Definitely no flash on him or Rookie. Teleport's coming in. Do NIP? No.
Rookie stops. Rookie stops Photic. We'll see the beast in waiting, though. It's the True Shot Barrage coming across. Double knockout from Shanji. Photic's in trouble. They got the collapse. Dive, 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 says BLG submarine captains as they're going onto the back. They've been split a little bit. Knight by himself, but it doesn't matter. 2 quick kills to Elk, and that is BLG handling business.
Photic can't play the magic and smoke and mirrors this time. He gets caught out, and Shanji clears the wave in mid lane, but the cannon turret is still alive. There's a teleport to the top lane too, coming in from Knight, who might just try and chase down Shanji. NIP, they can't get themselves that dragon. It's not even spawned yet. They died before they even had the chance, and BLG show exactly why you still can't disrespect them. They've had a couple of good fights in a row, but at BLG eventually walk away with the fight and the dragon.
really massive cleaning up of the momentum that NIP were thriving off of in those last couple minutes, but all of a sudden it's a quiet still air in Shenzhen as NIP in their home arena are being shut down.
Photic is in a really bad position here. He uses E very easily. Bin goes over here as well. Shanji is also self-CCs. Yeah, Photic's just in the wrong spot. He's fighting for mid-prep. He puts himself out of safety. He uses that E too early, and that's effectively the fight over. Elk is also just to avoid a lot of the Zyra damage because he has that Zhonya. So Photic had a great fight around the Barret. Pretty awful one here, and that's really the difference between it. The carries are so much easier to shut down this time than some of the one fights from NIP.
And even though Photic had like a massive CF differential for almost the entire game against Elk, Elk has now surpassed him in the items, 4 items, and has evened up that CS differential by a long shot. So BLG firing on all cylinders here. They themselves have put them into 3 dragons here of the Hex Soul. They are looking at a topside fight. NIP are here in full. Bin is looking for a big flank here. They don't have Aki with the team. Bin looking to collapse. They don't see him walk into the bush there. It's a split fight again. Shanji is the front line. Look at Bin. He's being solo. No, he's going to solo Rookie. And here comes out to make sure the solo bolo in the middle of the team fight for Giga Bin as BLG have been activated. A triple kill. Is he going to go for more? They want it. He's trying to go down. It's not going to be a quadra, but it's a clean fight by BLG.
NIP still on the search for their first series win. They took a game off of BLG. They leave them with a bloodied lip, but they will not take a second Nexus as BLG brawl their way through to a victory.
And this has been a test of time for BLG. They have not had a 2-0 since their Week 3 win against LGD. They will still be brought to 3, but some say it breeds a little bit more experience as BLG have found a 5-1 record so far in the Rumble stage.
So BLG, they keep themselves afloat at the top of the table, go to 5-1. That actually draws them exactly level with game score as well with LNG. LNG have the head-to-head over BLG, so they are currently in second place. They'll stay in the same berth that they started today on, but still at the top of the table, currently in the top tier, which of course means if they stay there towards the end of the Rumble stage, they'll keep themselves that Guardian Angel, which means they start off in the double elimination portion of the LPL playoffs bracket. It was not their cleanest series again. I feel like I'm saying that a lot with BLG. They didn't get all of their best engages in. They didn't get all of the best early games in here either. NIP took a game off them, made them sweat in some of the other games as well. And for a team that's 0-6, I think NIP showed better than we've come to expect them. It's just not enough. This is the problem. NIP, they've shown us bits and pieces, but this is a team which is currently 0-6. They'll need to fight in the next stage of the LPL kind of format, the Knights rivals, to see if they can get themselves through to that playoffs.
And a series like this